Welcome back. Today we're looking at 1 Corinthians chapter 13, one of the best known chapters of Paul's epistles, maybe even of the New Testament, and possibly even the Bible. It is a passage that is so poetic that it just rings when we speak it. It's about love, and it is a text that is often used at marriage, at weddings. It's one that was read at our wedding, and probably a third to a half of the weddings that I perform. But this isn't just about love between husband and wife. This is in the context of spiritual gifts and of the body of Christ. The importance of sharing that love, of doing things with love in all that we do. And yes, while it's not about love in marriage, it is an example of the perfect kind of love of Christ that we can show in our marriages. I'm going to begin just by starting with verses 1 through 3. If I speak in tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all the mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all that I have, if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. This, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the most poetic chapters in the New Testament, even though it's not truly poetry. He's showing here that without love, words, prophecies, knowledge, life, charity, even faith is nothing. It's nothing because if we are doing them without love, we're doing them for self, promoting self, and for our good so that others will love us. We do them out of love for others. That's what love is about. Let's continue verses 4 through 7. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. This is a description of what love is. It shows what it is. First of all, it is patient. It is kind. It also shows what it is not, that it is not arrogant or rude, not insisting on its own way, not resentful. And then it talks about rejoicing in the truth. Not in the lies, but rejoicing in the truth of Jesus, who he is, what he has done. The love that he has shown to us is the basis of this love. And then it says love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Almost as I read this, it's a putting up with others in all things. It's about loving them, putting them first above yourself. Let's continue with verse 18. With verse 8. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part, but when the perfect comes, the partial will pass away. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. This unending love is unending. And love matures. It will find its maturity and in the end times. When we are in heaven with Jesus, the one who demonstrated his love, we will experience that love in full. That's some of the analogies he's giving. When the perfect comes, the partial will pass away. Our partial love that we are able to do now, we will grow up into this on that day As we see in a mirror dimly, we can see love partially now, but it will be fully revealed then. This love that is really beyond our understanding. And now we're turning to the next part, the last verse of the chapter, verse 13. So now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest of these is love. Faith, hope, and love. Faith. Faith is that belief that we have in Jesus, that trust that we have in him, who he is and what he has done for us. And because of our faith, we have hope. Hope that for a better life now, and a certain hope of a better life in the resurrection, when we will live with him free from sin, crying in pain for all eternity. And that hope, then, the hope that we love, that we have, then is shown in our love for others. The love is really the fullness of this faith and this hope that we have been given. It expresses itself in love. Love that begins, once again, with Jesus, with his work for us, on his work for us. Tomorrow, we'll go back to chapter 14. We're going to he picks up the conversation on spiritual gifts. Again, remembering this is part of that conversation, but he moves more into that tomorrow. Come back. We'll see you then.